Hello. Am I audible to you? Guys, can you just please give me a thumbs up? Have any one of you have, worked with any of these devices before? Or do you have a basic understanding of these three devices? All right, I'm having a thumbs up from Abhinash. Anyone else? Okay, Lakshman is also. Yes, Sagar is also there. Good, Samsung, Dharmendra. All right. So I have a question for you guys. Like, what will you prefer when I ask you when it comes to the most important networking device among these in a typical, network setup? Which one you prefer? Just react with the emoji so that I get to know that you guys are active. Like, which one you prefer when it comes to the most important networking device among all of these in a typical network setup. I guess Sagar is saying switch. Anybody else? Yeah, Hemant is saying router. All right, Kapil is saying firewall. All right. So we will discuss it later on, like what is the answer for this question. Meanwhile, we can discuss our agenda for today. So our agenda for today is, we will be knowing the fundamentals of networking devices such as router, switch, firewall, you know, and access points. So each of these devices plays a critical role. They basically plays a very important role in building, managing, and securing, networks. So just a minute, like so to get a better understanding on it, we have our engineer with us, Ikas, who has like 7 years of industry experience with us, like who has a 7 years of industry experience, and she holds multiple IT certification, which shows her expertise across, different platforms and technologies. Before Ikas taking a charge over it, I just want to discuss some, this program which we offer, Network Engineer Masters Program. So it includes CCNA, CCNP and RC, and Palo Alto. See, I just want to tell you one thing. See, while CCNA is a good, good foundation or a great foundation for the networking, but this program goes beyond the basics. For example, by combining advancing networking skills with CCNP and RC, and the security skills in with Palo Alto training, you can get a deeper understanding. Hello, am I audible? Guys, am I audible to you?
Yes, Kritika, you are audible.
Yes.
Okay. So see, these skills, are very well. You will get a deeper understanding of both the network infrastructure and also the security. So let's just simply put it in this way that this program prepares you for a well paying job, high job roles, and create a greater career opportunities for you basically. So that's how it is. Just I'm just sharing you a screen. This is basically an offer going on with us. So just take a screenshot of it, and either take a screenshot or just you know click a picture of it so that you can avail this offer. All right. And last but not the least, I would like to share you these our students testimonials with you so that you also get to know that we are also providing the value for this program. These students have already attended this particular program and also gained a lot of insights from it. So that's it from my side. I'm just wanting Ikas. Hello, Ikas, are you there? Ikas, am I audible to you?
Yeah, hi, Akash. So, guys, this is just a small
Hi.
introduction about.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Are you able to hear me properly, guys?
Yes, we are.
Oh,
We can hear
perfect.
you now. So,
Yeah,
guys,
actually, appreciate
this is
like
just a small introduction from networkings. Like this is a master programs which includes CCNA, CCNP, NRC, and Palo Alto. So Vikas is gonna continue with the CCNA part and then CCNP, NRC, and the firewall. So guys, over to you. He'll start with the kind of introduction for CCNA.
Okay, that's
Thanks,
all from
Kritika.
my side. Thank you, guys. Ikas, over to you.
Okay. Yeah, hi everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Yeah, hi Deep, Michael, Shubham, and Yusuf, Sachin. How are you all? Anurag, Rita.
Hi,
I'm good,
Vikas, we are
ma'am. Who are
doing good.
you?
How are
Oh,
you?
I'm
Yes, all.
also good too. Okay, so as we have did with the orientation session for today, now we will be going to start and focus towards our learning regarding the CCNA, right? So we will be starting from the scratch of the CCNA and then you will be moving forward with the other scenarios in RC, Palo Alto and so on, right? So let's get started with it. Before that, I would like to know how many of you are working in the corporate environment? Like what are your designations over there? Yes, starting from Ibrahim, what you are currently doing?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Actually, just because it's a little bit noisy over here. So after some time, I'll put the mic on mute. Okay. Uh, right now, actually, I'm here in India. I'm doing my own business,
Mhm.
and I'm not working in any company. I'm doing my
Okay.
own business.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
Again?
Good to know about your side. Yeah, Bhupinder, what? Okay, Bhupinder is a knock engineer. Rakesh is a knock engineer L1, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Ibrahim, for
Yeah.
letting
Thank
me
you.
know. Yeah. And
Thank
what
you.
about Sachin, Anurag, Rita? What you are currently doing, guys?
I'm from networking itself.
Why?
Okay. All right. So you are a desktop
Sorry.
support engineer, right? Desk side support technician. This okay, all right. Okay, so many of you, which I have just checked, you are a IT engineer. Some of them are doc engineer L1, right? So these are your profiles and designations was into. One moment. Okay, good to know about your site. Technology analyst is Gopinath. Okay, thank you so much for the participation. Now we will be going to start your session from the scratch that is related to the
No?
CCNA. Okay, yeah. Are you able to hear me? Are
Yes,
you able?
yes,
Okay,
you're audible.
all right. So now we will be going to move forward our talk regarding the same. First of all, let me share my screen and then we get started with the work. Are you able to see my screen, guys?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. So, like, we are here for the CCNA course that is 200301, right? So, how many of you know about this term? What does it mean? CCNA. What do you understand by this?
Cisco Certified Network Associate.
Yeah, perfectly fine. So the correct abbreviation for this is Cisco Certified Network Associate, right? After the completion of this course, you will be recognized as the Cisco Certified Network Associate, right? So here itself, we are going to talk about the detailing of it, what we are going to cover in this course, what could be the overview part, what could be the introduction, all the things we will be going to cover up in the detail one by one. Okay. So anybody tell me this code number, what does it indicate, that 200301? What is it?
Exam pass. Exam code.
not exam pass, we can say this
Exam code.
is your exam code, right? So
Yeah.
200301 will be your exam code for the CCNA, right? So
Yes.
now, yeah. So now let's talk about this course in more detailed way. What this course consists of, right? So we have the five modules in this course, right? The first module weightage is of network fundamentals. The second module is of, yes, are you saying something? Okay, all right, it's okay, fine. So the first module will be your network fundamentals. The second module will be your network access. The third module will be your of your IP connectivity, and module 4 will be your IP services, and module 5 will be related to the security fundamentals. All right, guys. So in this section particularly, we will be going to deep dive into the detailing part, what we have in separate sections and what we are going to learn in that modules, right? So we are going to start the module number 1 from today onwards. In this section, you will be going to explore about the network fundamental part. All right, guys. So this is your module 1, 2, 3, 4, which is the weightage for the CCNA course preceptive, right? So now I would like to elaborate this thing in more detail so that it will be giving you the fair idea what we are going to cover under each sections for the detailing overview. All right. So here, what I have just opened, this is your exam description. Okay. So in this description, I would like to state that is your 120-minute exam. Okay. And it is associated with the CCNA certification from the Cisco. All right. And this exam will going to test your knowledge and skills related to that five sections which we have just discussed, right? And recently they have added one more section which is weightages of 10% that is related to the automation and programmability part. Okay, so in this course we will be going to also learn this section also. All right, these are your five modules from where you will be getting the questions. All right, so this course help you to prepare for the exam. All right, so whosoever is planning to give the exam, they will be easily go with the exam after the completion of this training. All right, so now let's talk about the detailing that comes under the network fundamentals part, right? So this is your course overview. So you can see there the 20% of your syllabus will be occupied for network fundamentals, and you will be getting the questionnaire from this section, right? So what is there under this section? You can see in this section you will be going to explore about the routers, switches, firewalls, IPS, access points, controllers, endpoints, and servers. Okay, so this is the agenda which we are going to cover today, and we will be going to understand the role and functionality of the each component. Furthermore, we will be going to understand this thing with the live demonstrations also, with some various tools that you can use and operate at your home place also. All right, guys. So next you can see that is, yeah, so next you can see that is related to the network topologies. You will be going to learn what is SOHO, small office, home office. Then it's your all detailing related to the cabling types and interfaces. Then you will be going to understand the subnetting part, then how you can configure this out with the help of lab demonstrations, right? And in this part you will be also having this IP version 6 addressing part also, so you will be going to understand version 4 along with the version 6 part also. All right, guys.
Vikas, can you please increase the font size if possible?
Yeah, sure, why not? We can increase, now it's fine.
Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. So here you will be going to understand up to there, everything is clear, guys? Any doubt up to there would you like to ask?
No, ma'am.
Perfectly fine. So here we are going to understand these sections in more detailed way, right? So I'm just giving you a quick review about the syllabus part. So what we have in this CCNA preceptive, okay? So IP version 6, you will be going to understand. You will be going to understand various address types of it, short notations, anycast, unicast, local. Okay. Furthermore, you will be going to understand this wireless principles, virtualization, switching part, VLAN, trunking, right? So you can see the weightage of this from the network access you will be getting is 20%. So 20% of your questions is from this section in your exam will be going to appear up, and 20% from this section you will be getting it. Okay. And in that you will be going to explore and configure related to CDP, LLDP, all things you will be going to cover in this section, right? Then you will be having the IP connectivity. Weightage is quite high among the all the ones, like 25% will be the range which you are getting, that is from the IP connectivity questions you will be getting it from there. Okay. And now you can see the 10% weightage is related to the IP services, and the rest of the part with the 15% security fundamentals. And then you have the 10% weightage that is related to the automation and the programmability part. Okay. So clear with the syllabus part, what you are just going to have in it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any doubt up to there? Would you like to ask if you have framing some questions in your mind, so you can ask
Hey,
me?
Kasa, so a quick question here. So
Yeah,
in this,
tell me.
course, we are more focusing on the exam, or we are more focusing on the CCNA stuff, kind of things.
See, we will be focusing on both the parts. So what I have planned, we will be going to cover daily questions also related to it. Furthermore, we will be going to understand the concept also. So in the last, I will be going to ask you some questions related to it, and you have to give me the correct answer. So both the things we will be going to perform parallelly.
Mm. Okay, cool.
Okay. So this is the whole detailing of it. So now we will be going to start our talk that is related to the first section of ours, and then we can move wisely on it. Okay. So let us understand and just have a look for the same. Okay. So now this course, we call this as CCNA course. Okay. So here itself, let me give a mark on this. Okay. This thing we are going to understand, that is your implementing and administrating the Cisco solutions, that is CCNA. All right. So what this course is going to teach you, according to what do you understand by this? Like what is going to teach this CCNA? What you are going to do? Anybody give me the idea on it? If you have it, so.
We are implementing the router and switches and configuring.
Okay. What else? First of all, let me tell you, first of all, we will be going to understand how to install, okay, and then furthermore with the install you will be going to understand the operating part, configuring part, and verification of the basic IP version 4 and the IP version 6 network. Okay. So under this talk, you will be going to understand how you can install, operate, and configure the verify basic IP version 4 and version number 6 network. Okay. Now, let us understand in this section what we are going to do also. Okay. Under this section, you will be going to configure the networking components. So anybody frame that? What you can configure as a network components? What are your network components, guys? Such as?
Router, switches, firewall.
Okay, what else?
PC, laptop,
Yeah, perfect. What else? Router.
Access point.
server,
Okay.
It includes cable also. Cable.
We will be going to understand the cabling part, but we are not going to configure that. Okay.
Okay, madam.
Yeah, it's all related to the cabling. It's for the detailing part. For the configuration, we need devices. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about this, right? So in that section, you will be going to configure the network components that is related to the switches, router, wireless LAN controller, managing network devices, and you will be going to identify the basic security threats. Understood, guys?
Ma'am, your whole screen is not visible.
My voice is not there.
No, ma'am, screen is not completely visible.
Okay, wait
Font
for a
size, ma'am,
moment.
font size.
Let me share it again. One
No, no,
moment.
it is visual, but you have to make the font, increase the
Okay,
font.
okay. One moment, please. I'll share again. One moment.
Okay.
Okay, so let me increase the font size. Allow me a moment, guys. Okay, now I will be going to increase the size of it. Okay. So what I was telling you, we will be going to understand. Now it is fine. Yes, now it is fine.
Yeah, guys, it is perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. So here we will be going to configure the network components, that is your switches, routers, wireless LAN controllers. You will be going to understand how you can manage the network devices, and you can also identify the basic security threats in it. Okay. So now we will be going to understand the basic starting of this section, that is with the introduction. All right. So how many of you are aware what is a computer network? What do you understand by this? If I ask you a question that is related to it, so how many of you frame what is a computer network?
The communication between devices.
Any two devices connected as a network and computer network.
Okay. Any other one would like to tell me something related to it?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
The
One
data
computer
was
to
transferring from one to another.
yes, one computer to another
Yes.
and sharing to each other. That is network.
Okay.
So difference between network and networking, right? I guess.
Okay. So you are like everybody has their own terms and everybody is stating the same. So yes, you are correct by your own term scenario. Okay. So let me give you the correct definition on it. Okay. So we can say this term, like everybody give me some definition on it, right? So I am just going to say this thing. The term network we use today in many different aspects, right? So when this term hit in our mind, it's gonna be used in many different aspects. So what are gonna be these different aspects? Okay, so some examples of networks are there, which we call this as what we call this as, like anybody can frame, like how many examples of networks are there?
Telecommunication.
Communication. Okay, what else?
Local area network. Telecommunication.
Telecommunication, okay. Local area network. Okay, that is related to LAN, SAN, MAN.
Yeah.
Yes,
Man.
yeah. That is a separate area. You can just make it separate. I'm just talking about the examples of the network. So let me frame it there. So there are some,
Public network and private network.
yeah, we can say this one also. So we can frame this thing. Some of the examples of the networks are, let's say, social networks, phone networks, television networks are there, neural networks, and the computer networks is also there, right? So this thing
Yes.
I'm just talking about as an examples of the network, right? Now a network. What is a network? We have understood the computer network. Mhm.
Yeah.
Two or more devices which is connected to each other is called network.
Right. And what kind of devices is it? So let me frame it there. So see there.
Host.
A network is a system of, a network is what? So we can say a network basically, it is a system of connected elements that is operate together, right? So a computer network, what it do? They connect the printers, servers, phones, cameras, and other devices would be the key player there, right? So a network is a system of connected systems that is gonna be operate together, which connects the PC, printers, servers, phones, cameras, and the other devices. All right. And yes, one candidate is saying like they are responsible to exchange the data with each other, so that is also fine. Exchanging of data. Other than that, you can say we can
Forwarding data.
facilitates the information, right? We can say this thing is there, like we can say exchanging data, right? What else? Facilitates the information, right? What it do? And the resource sharing, it's also there, right? So these things a computer network we generally do, right? It's exchange the data, facilitates the information, and do the resource sharing. So now when we are at our home place, okay, computers, what they do, they allow our family members to share the files, photos, printers, we can in the television, we can play the movies, right? And other media types are also stored in the computers. Anywhere in the world you are able to communicate with each other with the help of a computer network. All right, guys. So there are some common usages of the computer network, like let's talk about that one now. So this is your computer network detailing. So now we will be going to explore a little bit. Computer network is served for one purpose, that is to enable the communication, right? So let me frame it there. So computer network are there to build with the one primary purpose in order to build the communication, right? So there are multiple types of communication is also available. Okay, so everybody is going to give me one example on it. So let me talk about this thing. Yes, guys, now you can frame it. You have to give me one example on the each part. So communication between human beings, you have to give one example. Communication between network machines, communication between humans and machines. Now everyone, just frame this in your mind and tell me what could be the perfect example on it. One by one, please.
Mobile phone.
Communication between human beings, you would like to say mobile phones, right?
Yes.
Okay.
PC
What,
sounds.
what about others?
Laptop.
Laptop, okay.
Verbal communication.
Okay. All right. What else?
Emails.
What else?
Because I help me understand with what does it mean communication between human beings. I mean,
Okay.
how we are communicating with the humans, right?
Mhm. Okay. So see, there are multiple types of communication available, right? Depending on who are the participants, right? So here in the first talk, I have taken one example, communication between human beings, like me and you. We are communicating with each other, right?
Correct.
So how we are communicating with each other?
Yeah, by talking, by writing.
By talking, by laptop, or by using mobile phones, right? We are able to communicate with each other,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So this is a perfect example which other students tell me, like mobile phones, laptops, we are communicating between the human beings, right? So let's say communication between the human beings, let's say two students are there and they are communicating over a chat application on their phones to coordinate the schoolwork. We can say the communication is doing between the human beings. Now let's talk about the communication between the network machines.
Routers.
Yeah, one candidate saying routers.
Switch.
Routers. Okay, switch. What else?
Gateways.
Gateways. Okay.
Hub.
Hub. Okay.
Bridges.
I think you are
Wi-Fi,
going to
Bluetooth.
take. I think you all are going to take every network device there, right?
Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, yes, we can say the network machines, they are able to communicate with each other, right? With some commands, with some configuration tools, troubleshooting is also required, right? We need Wi-Fi for it, we need proper devices, proper setup, heat energy, waving machines, everything we would like to have required when we are performing the communication between the network machines, right? So now frame one example on it. So you have already framed, that's all correct. So let me frame one more example on it. So let's say here itself, a humidity sensor is communicating with the database in order to send the latest data on it. Okay, so we can say the machining communication is going on with the hubs, switches, gateways, anything you can pick it for. All right. Now let's talk about the last one. Communication between the humans and machines. What do you understand by this?
Same like mobile phones and laptops.
You have to frame one example. AI, we can say, yeah, perfect. So what you can do with the AI? For example, I'll give you one example. Okay, so
Like
let's say,
ChatGPT.
yeah, what are you saying?
ChatGPT.
Chat GPT, we can say. So let's say I frame this example. So when someone purchases movie tickets online, so obviously the communication is between the machines and human beings is going on, right? So like the same way with the AI, with the other participants are answering for the same, you can fill this conversation with it. Yes, the communication between the humans and machines are going on, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the basic purpose of this computer networks, like in order to enable the communication and what could be in it, right? Now let's jump towards our main section of our talk, that is your components of network. So let me give the new file range there. I think everybody is clear with the conversation. Any doubt up to there? Are you understanding each and everything fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Now we will be going to work on the components of a network. So now everybody, I think, knows about it, right? Everybody knows about it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So now I will be going to ask you something related to it. Okay, so let's frame this picture. So in this picture, what you are observing, how many devices are there? What could be that one? What you are observing there?
This is the company network.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Group of
Actually,
network devices is there.
LAN connection.
Okay, group of network devices, that perfectly sound to me. Okay. Anybody else would like to frame something on it? Okay, so let me talk. Okay, for this. So components of a network. So components of a network, what does it mean? Like a network may be a simple network, okay, or maybe 1,000 of devices are connected on it. So let me give it there. See, a network can be as simple as two PCs are connected to each other with a wire, or it could wanna be complex network with several of devices are there, right? So it is a complex network or a simple network? Tell me, guys, according to you.
It's a complex
Repeat,
network.
ma'am.
Complex.
Yeah, right. So it is a complex network. Why? Because a lot of machinery is there, right? So here the elements that form a network can be roughly divided into three categories. Okay. So let me frame it there. Like how many categories are there if you want to frame there. So categories would be divided into 3 types. Okay. So 3 types, what it gonna be the categories part? The first one would be your devices, right? We are looking into the devices according to this representation, right guys? Right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, what else you are able to see? Can you frame the 3 things?
Different LAN connecting.
Switch comes under the device. We can't say separate.
So it's we can see a VM also, virtual machine also, and we can see the internet is coming from the cloud. So
So what we call this as, like if you can frame as a synonym for it, what you call this?
cloud network.
We can say the services, right?
Okay.
Because we are getting the services from cloud, right? So services are also there, right, as a category, right? So what could be the left with it? We have devices, we are getting services from the internet, and what the last thing is there? That is very important. If it is not there,
Security.
we are not, no. Security is like a different concern. What could be the important factor there if we talk about the 3 things in this representation?
Cables.
Perfect, which we call this as media. Okay. So we have devices, services, and media. These are the 3 components of the network. We can say these are the elements of the network that comprises it of, right? So devices here, they are connected by the media, which is going to provide the channel over which the data is travels from where, that is data is going to be travel from source
Source to destination.
to destination, right? So data is going to be travel from source to the destination, right? And services are the software, right, and processes that support common networking applications today, like which we are getting from the cloud. Okay. So these all are your components of the cloud. So what you are observing on the screen, we have firewall, IPS, switch, right? And we have camera, printer, server, desktop, IP phone, tablet, laptop. A lot of devices are there, right? So these all are comprises of the network, and this is the components of the network. Okay. So now let us frame one by one and understand what they are. Okay. Now, for that, I will be going to open a one tool, that is your packet tracer. So I think everybody is familiar with the packet tracer, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you
No,
have
ma'am.
installed it? No. Okay. So no problem. If somebody is not familiar with it, I'm going to tell you. So this is a simulation tool in which you can perform the practical part scenario. Okay. You will be going to get the real term scenario devices, and then you can operate it accordingly. All right. So here I will be going to frame you. You just download it from Google. It is free of cost available, and you can just install it in your laptop and you can start using. Okay. So this is the main screen of it. Okay. And in that main screen, we will be going to understand the components of network, right? So let me take the first component. So this is my first component, which I call this as component, let's say endpoint, right? This is the endpoint, right, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So what do you understand by the endpoints? What are the endpoints? What they do? What are could be the functionality for it? Can you tell me what is it?
Point is a device from we interface with the other devices. And then
Okay. What else? Anybody else can frame for the
okay,
endpoints?
where we can interact.
It converts machine language to humans language.
Okay, so let me give you the detailing on it. Okay, so endpoints, what they call generally as an end user device, which include PC, laptops, tablets, mobile phones, game consoles, and television sets. Okay, these are called also as end users, which include the laptop. So I have taken one desktop kind of machine. So if you want to take a laptop, you can take the laptop as well from there. Okay, so when we perform the configuration, we will be going to perform the configuration on it. Okay, but firstly, we will be going to understand what could be the working criteria for it. All right, understood, guys, up to there? Everything is clear?
Yes,
Guys,
ma'am.
is it clear? Okay. So now we will be going to understand that endpoints are the end users, which include PC, laptop, mobile phones, game consoles, right? So mobile phone. Let's take one mobile phone also. So here is my mobile phone. Okay, this is my IP phone. Let me take the devices that is related to it. Okay, so here we have taken the detailing on it. Okay, so now what else the endpoints we call this as? So okay, the other part, the endpoints are also we call this as file servers, printers, sensors, cameras, manufacturing robots, home components, and so on. These we also called as endpoints. Okay. So all devices, all end devices which we are using today, that is we call this as physical hardware. Okay. So in the virtualization part, if you talk about these, like these end devices are gonna be virtualized and they are going to perform the separately part according to it. Okay. So virtualization is a common that you can apply to the servers, resource utilization purposes, and so on. Okay. These are your related to it, the detailing part on it. Now let's talk about the other part of our talk. What could be the other part of our talk?
Can
Let
you,
me go to
excuse me,
your
ma'am?
file. Yeah, tell me.
Can you just come again with the definition? Now we know I know the examples of the endpoints, but
Okay, okay.
can you just give me a definition for that?
Yeah, perfect. So I'm just going to write the definition on the screen. Are you able to see this?
Sir, I think you're not seeing the chart. The people are asking to increase the font size.
Okay. Okay, okay. So now I'm just going to make this as highlighted with the fill color. Now we are able to see.
No, ma'am.
Font size increase.
Yeah, now.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just see. I'll just give
Because
it you
if,
there.
because if
Yeah,
you're
give me.
using mobile, you can maximize it.
Yeah, I'm going to maximize it for you. Wait for a moment. I'll give this as 20. Now you're able to see, guys.
Perfect.
Perfect, ma'am.
Okay. So here we have the endpoints. Okay. So you can see on the screen, endpoints are the end user devices that include the PC, laptop, tablets, mobile phones, game consoles, and television sets. Okay. And endpoints, we also call this as file servers, printers, sensors, cameras, manufacturing robots, smartphones, and components, and so on. It okay. So today, when we talk about that endpoints, that many end devices are virtualized today. Okay, meaning that they do not exist as separate hardware units you have to create anymore. You can create the VMs that we called as, everybody is familiar with the VM. What is it? It
Virtual
guys,
machines.
virtual machine. So instead of having the hardware, you just able to create the virtual machines. Okay, that we call this as VM. So that definition is related to the endpoints. Okay, and you have also seen the endpoints in the packet tracer tool. So if anybody participant who has not installed it, the packet tracer, please install it because it is necessarily required in your like upcoming sessions. All right. All right. So shall we move forward, guys?
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
it is it clear up to there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will be going to understand about some devices. So let's start with the very first device, which we call this as switches. So what do you understand by the switches? Tell me, guys.
It is used to connect multiple devices.
Okay. Multiple devices, what kind of devices?
Multiple
Like
end devices.
Multiple
PCs,
devices
router.
in same LAN connection, local area network.
Okay. All right. So we will be going to understand one by one detailing for it. Okay. What could be the switches for it? So these devices enable the communication between the multiple endpoints, right? So you can see these devices enable the multiple endpoints such as PC, file servers, printers, sensors, cameras, manufacturing robots, and so on. Okay, so these are the devices on it. Now, what could be the next? So, switches are responsible to allow devices to communicate with each other that are on the same network. So, switches are used to allow devices to communicate on the same network. In general, we call this switch a group of interconnected switches that is responsible in order to forward the message from the sender so that it's gonna be received to the destination device. So that could be the detailing for it. Other than that, we can say like somebody is saying related to the LAN, right? So usually all network can therefore communicate directly with each other, right? So if an end device wants to communicate with the device that is on the other network, which is required the services of device, which we call this as router. So they are responsible to connect to the same network, but router is responsible to connect to different networks together. Okay. So this is the router functionality for it. So if you can see this switches detailing, so they enable multiple endpoints like switch, file servers, printers, cameras, manufacturing robots. You can connect there. So you can see there, if I would like to take the switch, so from this section, from the intermediary devices section, I will be going to take this switch and I am going to connect this PC with that particular switch with the help of one cable. Let's connect it there. Okay. And what else they are saying? You will be able to communicate, you will be able to connect with this switch, the laptop, right? And so many intermediate devices. You can connect it from there, right? So same thing, you can check it from there, like are you able to connect with this or not? So you just simply drag and drop it there, take the cables and connect with the other part of it. So we are able to connect these all devices with the help of a switch. Understood with the detailing on it? What could be the switches role play for it? Is it clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now we will be going to talk about the other thing, that is routers. So how many of you are familiar with the router? Can anybody tell me what is the router functionality?
It is used to connect different networks.
Okay. Okay, tell me one thing. Who is intelligent, router or a switch?
Router.
Router.
Why? Why?
Because it's using the IP address.
Because router
Mm-hmm.
Router working in network layer.
You are giving me
Routers are forwarding the
very,
data from
very
one LAN to
near.
another LAN.
Yeah, you are very near to the answer. But can you just give me the
Router
correct? Yeah.
router is connect to different network, but switch is not.
Okay. But
It's
why we
also
call this as
it's
Router
intelligent?
also forwarding
router
message
change the
in a
analog
faster way.
router change the analog network to digital network.
Okay. What else? Anybody can state why it is why it is called as intelligent device? There is only one
Route,
reason. What it do intelligently, like we can say.
Router
router
is a
will send
network
the
device.
Mm-hmm.
Router is a network device and it is connected to different network.
Okay.
router will send the data to the specific destination
Routers
host.
are sends the data in
Because it creates a
less
routing table.
Mm-hmm.
faster way.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
It can store a routing table.
Because router, wireless and wired network.
Okay, who is saying the routing table?
Yeah, it can store the routing table.
Perfect. Okay, so now I'll frame it. Why we call this device as so intelligent device there, right? See, these devices connect networks intelligently because they choose the best paths between the networks. So their main function is to route the traffic from one network to the another. That is why we call this router is very intelligent device. Understood, guys? They are responsible to connect different networks together. I know it. You also know it, right? But why we call this as intelligent? Because they are responsible to connect networks. Plus, they will be going to guide us which best path you can connect to move the data from the source to the destinations. Means from one network to the another, how you can route the traffic. Understood, guys? Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And analogy is there that you help you to understand the basic function of the switches and router, so you can imagine the network according to it. So that could be the functionality for the particular router, the important, very important functionality. Okay, now what we have the next, which we call this as AP. What we call this as AP. So how many of you are familiar with the AP, guys? What we call this as AP?
Access point.
Okay, so where we can see this, the packet tracer, here are your routers with different models. You can pick and drop there and you can perform the functionality on it, right? And then what you have the other device. These are your switches. These are your hubs. These are your APs, WLC controllers, right? So you can simply drag and drop it there. So I'm talking about this. That is your access point, right? So now tell me, guys, what could be the functionality of this AP? What is it?
It is used to connect wireless devices.
Okay. What else?
Access point extends the network.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let me frame it there. So these devices allow the wireless devices to connect to a wide network, right? As some candidate has said this thing, so, right? Other than that, an APs usually connect to a switch as a standalone device, but it is also can be the integral component of the router itself. Okay, this is the AP. Now we have one more thing that we call this as WLC. What is WLC, guys? Tell me.
It's wireless controller.
wireless connect.
What it do?
Like it's usually manages all the wireless network, right? Like the APs and all.
Perfect. And who is gonna use this device? Which person is gonna use this device?
Network administrator.
Perfect, right? So these devices generally used by whom? The network administrators, right? And or the network operation centers to facilitate the management of the APs. The WLC automatically manage and configuration the wireless APs. Okay, so that is your WLC part, right? Afterward, you will be having three more things to understand, right? So let's frame this there. Now we have the Cisco secure firewalls. What they are? So what the firewall do? Tell me, guys. What the firewall?
Filter the traffic.
Okay.
Used
What
for the
else?
security purpose.
Like it usually detects and prevents any intrusion from the outside network, right? That is not.
Intrusion, yeah, you can say we can't say this as perfect as intrusion. You can say some sort of attacks. IPS is a separate thing, right? Intrusion prevention system or something related to it. Okay. So let me frame it there. So firewalls are the network security systems that monitor and control the incoming and outgoing traffic based on your predetermined security rules. Okay, this is the functionality of the firewall. So you have to be very specific with the trusted network and with the non-trusted network. So they are going to act as a protective wall between the networks and the home network, internet if you're communicating with. So it's like protective wall between it. Okay, now we have the IPS, right? So what is IPS, guys? Tell me. Yes. What is the functionality of IPS?
Like it blocks the traffic that is not authenticated and authorized, right? So
Perfect. What
and
it do?
if
What could be the main functionality? What it performs, IPS, if you look into?
like it
Basically,
stores
generates
the
alerts.
the source that that is sending
Prevent the
the traffic, right?
unauthorized person.
Okay. Anybody else would like to state something on it?
And hide the IP address of the person or the network.
Basically, it's monitored on a real time and
Right,
gives
right.
us the alerts.
Right, perfectly sound. So you are related to the term. So IPS is a system that is responsible to perform the deep analysis of the network traffic, like searching for it, something suspicious is going to be happen or malicious attack is there, right? So they are responsible in order to perform the deep analysis of the network traffic, okay? And if they detect some such behavior, what it gonna be do? Tell me, guys, if IPS detects some sort of untrusted behavior,
It will
what it
trigger
going
an
to do?
alert.
Alert, right? So they are going to take one action on it. So if IPS detects some behavior, they will be going to take a protective action immediately, and IPS and firewall can work in conjunction to defend the network, which is outside, which is unauthorized, or you can have the several abbreviations for it. All right, understood up to there? What could be the components? What is the network? Is it clear up to there, guys? Everything related to it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, all right, guys, now I will be going to frame you one question, okay, because we have like time constraint issues, because we have to cover up the whole session in a one go. That is a 1 hour session of yours. So now we will be going to give you one question in the chat. So every participant will give me the correct answer on it, which we have covered today.
Ma'am, question is not visible.
Okay. In the chat I have sent. Can you check? Are you able to see that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's clear, it's clear.
okay, perfect. Okay, I'm getting the responses from Deep, Rita, Pinku, and the other participant is Sagar and Ashish. Okay, so let me reveal the correct answer to you also. The correct answer for it is access point, firewall, switch, wireless LAN controller. All right, guys, is it clear? Okay, perfect. Okay, so all right, guys, so we are going to wind up the session for today. So I think everybody is clear with the content and all. Any doubt up to there?
No, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So now we will be moving towards the next session, and we will be going to understand the other section in more detail part. So till the time, take care of yourself. Bye. See you tomorrow, or maybe the next class is on the Monday. Team will get back to you on this. All right. So thank you so much for attending this section. Take care
Thank
of
you, ma'am.
yourself. Bye bye. Take care all. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.